Well, I always wanted to train jiu-jitsu. When I first saw jiu-jitsu at the first UFC, for example, and I never quite got the courage to start training.
Why you don't got this courage, Mio?
Well, I was always sort of a leader in whatever I did, and I was always trying to set an example for my friends as a young guy, or when I started working for my coworkers, and I always tried to be in charge.
Right.
And I was worried to come try something where I knew I would be the worst at it.
Right.
And I didn't want to put myself in that situation. It was very immature, I guess, at the time. But I always thought, oh man, it would be so cool. But I never had the courage to start.
But you already did besides jiu-jitsu, then you thought about to do and you want to do, but you don't have the courage. You did another sports in your life?
Yeah. I trained my whole life. I mean, as a young child, I played tennis, and I actually started playing tennis professionally when I was 15 years old. But I blew up my knee and couldn't continue. So my career ended early. But I then I picked up boxing and some kickboxing, and I kept training.
How many years of training you had on this?
I would say a total of 10 years.
10 years?
Like
Boxing, kickboxing?
Yeah.
Consistent?
Yeah, I would do breaks in between, because I would travel a lot. I would move from, for example, in the U.S., I would move from one coast to the next, and I wouldn't always keep up with the training. I would just keep working and then start over.
And you started box here in U.S. or you started in your where are you from?
I'm from Montenegro. But I grew up in Sweden. And I started boxing over there with my cousins and
in Sweden.
In Sweden, yeah, nice. With my cousins, my friends, just to learn and be able to fight.
Right.
Then when I moved to the U.S., I started working as a bouncer in many nightclubs. Obviously, it was important to know how to punch.
Sure.
Back then, it was a little bit more violent than what you see right now. Obviously, that's a good thing that it's not so violent anymore. But I always needed to know how to fight. I always needed to know how to defend myself, and so I would always train.
Nice.
But jiu-jitsu was always there, but I never took the opportunity to start. And I even had great friends that now when I think back, I'm like, oh my God, that guy was a world champion, or that guy was, an amazing jiu-jitsu fighter. And I should have just taken the opportunity.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But
you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, it's hard. On the moment, it's hard to say, oh, I'm gonna do this. And
exactly.
Really, really hard.
And again, it was almost like I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want to go and, oh man, you suck at this,
I know.
And that was kind of what held me back. So I was actually in the neighborhood here by Fight Sports. I was with a couple of friends and my business partner. We were looking at a property to maybe do something here. And the guy that was showing us the neighborhood, he said, oh, by the way, we have a gym here. It's called Fight Sports. So we walked in through the side door over there. And I said, wow. And I saw Cyborg. I remember Baby Monster was here and a couple other people on the mats.
Was during the day or at night?
During the day. During the day. It was after training. So everybody was kind of tired and had very serious faces. When we walked in, I remember Cyborg looking at us like, who are these guys, And I think my partner stepped on the mat with his shoes.
Oh my God.
Did you make him pay push-ups?
No, he didn't. But I told him, hey, get off the mat, man. Look at these guys. They're going to kill us. So we walked in, we looked around, and when we left, I told my partner, I said, man, I'm going to start training here. And he goes, no, man. I said, no, I'm going to start training. He goes, okay, maybe I'll come with you. I said, all right. So I waited for him for about a month.
Right.
And I realized, okay, he's not going to do it. So I got in my car, I drove here, and I signed up right then and there. I signed up with Vitor. And
Vitor.
Yeah.
So your friend he never stepped on the mat.
Never stepped on the mat.
Oh, you gotta call him out now.
Now he's looking at me, competing and winning medals and training really hard. And he's like, "Whoa, man, great job!" I wish I would have jumped in.
Well, it's not too late.
Never too late.
Never too late.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get people here from from my work
Right.
to come train. I actually got a couple of people here already.
Nice.
It's cool. Little by little, we'll get more.
No, jiu-jitsu is important. Jiu-jitsu is good to self-defense. Even like if you work on the nightclub, it's important to know how to punch, but it's important how you deal maybe if the guy's bigger than you or something like that.
It's probably more important than knowing how to punch, because the goal shouldn't be to knock somebody out.
Exactly.
The goal is to diffuse the situation and not hurt somebody.
Exactly. You can take the people out of where you don't want them to be and without injury then.
Exactly.
It's great.
Andre, you started jiu-jitsu when you were what?
I was 13 years old.
13 years old. Mio, you started when you were?
Wow, I was 40.
40 years old. So to me, it's super
41.
super interesting to see how, like all walks of life.
Exactly.
Literally, Anthony Bourdain used to say that one of the best things about jiu-jitsu is that it gave you the ability to be humble when you are used to success, when you are used to being a leader, the top dog in a room, right? Because when you're a white belt, doesn't matter if you're a CEO, if you're a millionaire, if you're 50, it doesn't matter if you're the boss and everything else in your life on the mat, you're going to be a newbie, right? And that's kind of what you were talking about right now.
Exactly.
We know you have a super interesting story. Take us a little bit through your story. Like, where are you from? How'd you grow up? We're talking behind the scenes here, some super cool stories about you working since you were very young. Like, we want to discover a little bit about who you are as a person also.
Absolutely.